If I hear one more person say, "You're not a scientist, and only scientists can make judgments about science," or "You're not a doctor, and only doctors can make medical decisions," I will give up on the human race. People who talk like this never stop to think. Scientists disagree among themselves on scientific matters, or different doctors have varied ways of looking at health issues and come to different conclusions. Since different scientists make different and often conflicting scientific observations, and as doctors will often arrive at opposite ends of a medical controversy, it logically follows that the claims "only scientists can make judgments about science" and "only doctors can make medical decisions" are insufficient. Which scientists? Which doctors? And it then follows that people must make a decision as to which scientists and doctors to believe. But wait, you just said we can't make judgments about science because we are not scientists, nor can we make medical decisions because we are not doctors. If you are following my line of reasoning, I will not have to point out that this means we cannot believe any scientific or medical claim. If we believe scientist A over scientist B, we are guilty of making a scientific judgment that we have no business making. Ditto choosing one doctor's medical opinion over another's. What usually happens next is that intellectual democracy takes over. Truth becomes a numbers game, or worse yet, a political strategy. I remember during the height of the so-called COVID pandemic, a certain online friend sniffing at my documented assertion that a group of some 30,000 medical professionals disagreed with the need for and supposed safety of the mRNA vaccine. He responded with both the numbers game and the political strategy, saying that many more thousands of doctors found the vaccine safe and necessary, and that the group of 30,000 I cited were right-wingers. Though he was not a medical professional, my friend nonetheless made, according to him, a legitimate medical judgment, whereas my judgment was wrong. I was wrong because I was outvoted and politically incorrect. Neither of those arguments is actually a medical argument, but I doubt he realized that. Reliance on experts for the truth and the accompanying refusal to believe assertions from the wrong sort is a nightmarish danger to human freedom. The 19th century Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard knew this and fashioned a parable that dramatically illustrates it. Quote, "A fire broke out backstage in a theater. The clown came out to warn the public. They thought it was a joke and applauded. He repeated it. The acclaim was even greater. I think that's just how the world will come to an end. To general applause from wits who believe it's a joke." Unquote. The audience ignored the clown because he was just a clown. They laughed instead of leaving. Had the theater owner come forth to warn them, they would have believed him, fled the theater, and saved their lives. But a clown? The next unwritten scene in the tale is obvious. The fire bursts through the curtain and into the theater, killing nearly everyone. Kierkegaard points to this as an image of the end of the world, with general applause from wits who believe it's a joke. The wits will not take seriously any information from a clown. Whether the information is true or not doesn't matter to them, only the pedigree of the source. When President Trump, whom today's wits would doubtlessly call a clown when not labeling him an outright Nazi, shares evidence of white genocide in South Africa, the wits laugh, choosing to believe instead the New York Times denial of this claim, without even considering the evidence. Truth is not the issue for them. Pedigree is the point, but truth knows no pedigree. It is whatever the truth is, whether it comes from a clown or social media or a president or anywhere or anybody at all. Each individual must make up his/her mind about what it is. You don't have to be a scientist to consider the issue of global warming. Research the data and come to an informed conclusion. You don't have to be a medical professional to question the overall efficacy of today's phalanx of vaccinations, or to demand adequate testing of new vaccines. Research and weigh the evidence. Reliance on a consensus of experts is irrational. Reality does not conform to consensus.